Hello. Hello everyone. I'm trying this YouTube live stream for the first time. So I'm just checking it out, and if it ends up being something good to do or something effective that I figured out correctly would be really great. But I wanted to do like a Q&A session or something like that for today's video, and I found out about live stream. So I was like, oh, let me see how this works. The other thing is my kids are home, so they may pop in from time to time. But let me see if I say hello, hello. I think it like notifies people that I'm on. Like I said, this is my first one. So it's my first live stream. So this is a Q&A live stream. I figured I would come on line and just kind of hang out for a couple minutes, answer questions and stuff like that. So kind of like a ask me anything live stream, I guess. I was just writing the title in the chat. So, I can see people on. I can see, hi, Steven. And I'm going to mess your name up. Is that Yves? Is that how you say your name? And hi, Shami. So, okay. So I think I have figured out how to use this. Hi, Lakeisha. And you guys, if somebody can just send me a chat and let me know that you can hear me, because I'm not sure how the volume works. I'm just using the camera that's basically on my computer. So I don't know if there's like a volume setting here, but do you guys hear me? If somebody could comment back yes or something, because I think you guys can just ask anything. Okay, so Lakeisha just said yes. You guys can hear me. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, all right, thank you. Shami just said volume is perfect. Okay, so yeah, I'm just hanging out. It's like a lazy Sunday. I just actually finished washing my kids. I have two girls. They're here, so they're about to leave soon to go get their hair braided. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in. It's Sunday. Sunday is the day that I should be posting a real estate investing video. So I wanted to pop in and do like a live stream instead, and just kind of like just do it live. And if you guys have questions, because I get a lot of emails, and the emails are always like a lot of questions. So I just figured maybe if I started doing like a live stream like once a week or once a month, you guys tell me what is good, what would work out for you. But like I said, this is like an ask me anything. So you could put a question in the chat box there, and then I'll answer that question. So I'll just start off with some of the questions that I have been getting. So a couple people have sent me emails about being a realtor and an investor. And for me, I've kind of fallen into being both. It's not like I had like a dream to be both, but because originally what happened, I started in real estate investing, and then anyone out there, once you start marketing and things like that, you'll find that a lot of people that contact you, the numbers don't work for a wholesale deal, but maybe they work for something else, like a short sale or just a regular retail sale or something like that. And so I used to, like, say I got like 100 calls or something like that. You know, it would take me probably going through 100 people before I would get like one deal. So that's a lot of people I used to like turn away and say, hey, I'm sorry, the numbers don't work. I can't help you. And I also used to get a lot of times, because I was in real estate, people would reach out to me thinking that I was a real estate agent and ask me to like go with them to look for houses and stuff like that. And I'd be like, oh, I'm not an agent and stuff like that. And it'd be like, oh, well, just still come. We just want to get your feedback, blah, blah, blah. So I would like start referring them to other agents and stuff like that. And I just started thinking like, it's like a whole nother revenue stream that I felt like maybe I need to go get my license and do something with those people instead of sending them to someone else or just throwing the lead in the garbage. So that's how I kind of ended up doing both. And then I just kind of on the real estate agent side found a little niche here where I focus on pre-foreclosures and things like that. And usually I'm helping people to stop that foreclosure and figure out something else, like a loan modification if they can afford the new payment, a short sale, just things that only I can do because I'm a real estate agent type of thing, either a short sale or just like a traditional sale if they have equity. So that's how I kind of ended up doing both. And then, of course, if I come across like deals that we can rehab or deals that we can buy and hold as a rental and things like that, you know, I'm definitely on it. So I'm always confused when even if I meet an agent and they're not like, they don't own property, it's like so weird to me because I feel like agents, you know, they kind of get, you know, they're there, you're already there and you're getting the leads. I'm like, you know, you're calling somebody else and giving them the lead. You could be building like, you know, your own rentals and things like that. So to me, it's like, you know, a win-win to just do both. Okay, so somebody, Lakeisha, posted a question. I want to start virtual wholesaling. What's the first step or what's the best tools to start with? I mean, virtual wholesaling, it basically works just like, you know, a regular wholesale deal. The thing with virtual wholesaling is you're saying that the area that the property is, you know, you can't get there. Like I'm in Virginia. So maybe like my very, very first time that I wholesaled a deal of like I did a virtual wholesale where I never went to the house or anything like that. The property was in Virginia, but it was like, I think like 4 or 5 hours from here or something. So virtual wholesale is just that, you know, it's an area you're not there. Like say I'm in Virginia and I was wholesaling something in New York City. So the key that I have found is you have to have somebody that you trust that is in that area. Like you can't just, you know, like say I'm here in Virginia and I'm wholesaling something in New York. You need someone that you trust in New York to go look at that property, do the repair estimates and things like that. That's the only way it really works because I'm never out. If I virtual wholesale, that means that I have, you know, physically never seen the property. And, you know, I still need to estimate the repairs. And then the cash buyer, they generally still need to see, or they need to see an extensive amount of pictures, and they need to trust the person that did the repairs. Because like some of my cash buyers now, they don't even live in the United States, but they're working with me and another agent. And then when they buy the property, either we're managing the property for them or something like that. But the thing is, you have to build a lot of trust because one, they have to trust our estimate, and that's not just going to happen like overnight. So these are people that I've built a business with over time that they trust when we go out and we do an estimate, and we have to send them, like I said, an extensive amount of pictures of the property. And, you know, so that's the best thing for virtual wholesaling. But if you like learn the key aspects of wholesaling, it's the same thing. The only thing with virtual wholesaling is that, you know, for some reason, the property is in another state or it's just so far away that you can't get to it. But like I said, somebody has to go to that property that you trust. It can't just be like, oh, you called your aunt or your mom and asked them to go, because they're not going to know what to look for. You can't really trust the repair estimate and what they're going to tell you. So it has to be somebody that you're partnering with that you trust, that they know what they're doing when they go to the property. Another question, how to create a squeeze page for wholesaling, or do you have any recommended? On my pages, you know what's really good is ClickFunnels. And I think ClickFunnels website is just clickfunnels.com. Let me see, I'll type it because I think if I type it, I guess you guys will see it, right? I think it's clickfunnels.com. I use them. They're really good. Another one is Carrot websites. I think Carrot websites is the same thing. I'm just typing it because I think you guys will get the links that way. I think it's just carrotwebsites.com. They're really good. Oh, yeah, it's Invested Carrot. Yeah, they're really good. Those are two that I can think of that I've used off the top of my head that are really good. Next question. You have any buyers here in Philly? I'm a realtor and wholesaler here. I get deals weekly. No, I don't really have anything in Philly. I'm in here in Virginia, and I'm closer to like the DC side. So I generally do DC, Northern Virginia, and Maryland is where I kind of concentrate. So nothing in Philly. Okay, any more questions? Let me see if I see anything else. Okay, he said not far at all. Yeah, I just don't, yeah, I don't even, and that's the thing. You have to know like the area because like for me, like I grew up in New York City, so Philly's not that far. I went there like for shopping and we always go there for the outlets and stuff like that. But I don't even know anything about real estate in Philly. Like I absolutely know nothing at all. I don't even know like what the average, price of a house is in Philly and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying where I'm like, you have to like know your area. You can't just be like, oh, I got a deal. Like if you sent me something for Philly, I wouldn't even know if it was a deal or not. Like I literally would just be like, what do the numbers mean? I don't know. Let me see. Have you ever done any wholesale deals on land? Oh yeah, I have. And basically here in Virginia where I am, if you can there's always builders where I am looking for land. So if you can grab and get a good parcel of land under contract, you can definitely get that sold here, which is really, you can really get big wholesale deals when you do land. Of course, as long as you've gotten the property under contract for a nice discount, but builders are always looking for land here where I am. So, you can definitely, and all you can do too is even if you reach out to like small builders and ask them like what they're looking for, that will help you, to kind of know like what type of land and things like that. But really, I've never like focused on land, but just because as I market, people will call me and say, oh, like, I have this land, blah, blah, blah. And then I had to kind of learn, okay, who do I find that's going to buy land? And then people would tell me, oh, you need to find a builder. And then I would go out and just look, for different builders and kind of build that list. And then when I meet with them, as I've done one, I've learned more and more what builders look for and things like that. But yeah, builders where I am are always looking for land because it's just so limited. One is very limited where we are. And then it's so expensive. Like if you are, like if it's land that's like on our multiple listing service, like they're going to want like a full retail price, and builders, they have a certain price that, they need to get the land for it to make sense for them to build a house on it and make a profit. So they're always, builders are always looking for land and stuff. Oh, he was just saying New York investors are coming here like crazy. That's what Donald was saying. I could definitely believe that because I grew up in New York and New York is just so expensive. I was talking to one of my clients the other day because Amazon chose here, Northern Virginia and New York for their HQ2. And he was, we were reading all these articles about how they're, predicting or saying what it's going to do to the real estate values in New York and Virginia, whatever. And he was saying to me like, oh, do you think the values are going to go up here? Because they were saying that the values are going to go up in New York. And I was like, man, I grew up in New York City and like, it's extremely expensive. And I kept thinking like, it cannot get more expensive in New York. And I said, it just keeps getting more expensive in New York. I'm like, so I definitely think that, Northern Virginia, it's still not expensive in Northern Virginia and New York are still, there's still more that Northern Virginia, the prices can go up to even equal, New York prices. So I'm not surprised that, New York investors are maybe looking at other places because it's just, New York is just extremely expensive. I mean, just to, buy a house that's like in the hood is like, $800,000. It's like, it's just so expensive. I'm doing a wholesale deal in the land here right now. Yeah, same thing. Yeah. I wish I knew when I first started that those investor meetings would be so important. Yeah, and that's what I always tell people is going out to these investor meetings. I mean, that has been so helpful to me because when you go to investor meetings in your area, you meet people that are actually active investors because a lot of people are really busy in real estate, but they have absolutely no presence online at all. And so the only way you're going to meet those people is if you go to meetings, because I mean, they're cash buyers that, you know, and people that loan money that they're like so dominant in my area. But if I didn't go to a meeting, I would like never, ever have met them because, excuse me, because online they have absolutely no presence at all. So you got to get out and meet people. How do I approach, this is Shami asking, how do I approach an agent about a property they've had on the market for a while that I want to wholesale? I would say if a property is on the market for a long time, usually, I mean, you would approach them just the way you would, you know, any other, you know, anyone else. The thing is, the biggest thing is when you try to get property that is listed with an agent, it's kind of like the agent is almost like a barrier because I'm an agent, right? And so when I'm representing a client and I have their house listed, I'm trying to get the max price for the house. So if I list the house, I mean, even now, even if I have distressed property and they choose to list it, I still try to get the max price because I'm representing, you know, that's my client. I want them to get the max offer. So sometimes, yes, I'll get people that will say, oh, the house needs a lot of work. They offer a cash deal. But if the house is not, if I can get I'll still try to get another offer from someone else that's even more. So you have to keep that in mind when you approach an agent, that an agent is trying to get the max for the house. And when you're trying to wholesale, you're trying to get a discount. So that's why it's always better when you're trying to work with properties that are not on the market, because then you're actually interacting and communicating with the homeowner. Also, with that agent there, that's an additional fee because the agent needs to also be paid. So just be mindful of that. Of course, a lot of people get deals on the multiple listing service, but just be mindful of, you can't really approach an agent. They're not going to be excited, you know, when you come with this low ball offer, you know, unless, you know, this property has to really be on the market a long time. And then you still have to approach it as you're buying the property, because if you approach an agent that you're going to flip it, then they're not going to want to do that either, because that would mean that there's some profit there. So I wouldn't advise my client as a realtor to accept your offer, because like I said, a realtor is always trying to get the max price. So if I know you're going to wholesale it and say you can make $10,000, that means my client could also get $10,000 more. So just be mindful that agents, you know, are not really going to be excited to work with a wholesaler, because we're always trying to get the max price for the client. Okay. What else? This is Steven saying he just posted, do you have a Facebook account so we can connect? I am on Facebook. If you just I guess just type in my name, Neva Williamson or something, I should come up. But I am on Facebook, so you could connect and send me a private message on Facebook, or you can always just leave comments and stuff below my YouTube videos and stuff like that, because those actually, I'll answer those quicker on YouTube because I see them more, whereas my DMs, sometimes I just forget to check those because I don't have the instant messenger like on my phone, because I find that those, I don't know, the alert thing on that drives me crazy. So I turned it off. So then I always have to remember to check my messages on Facebook. So sometimes I'm not as good with that. But if you send me like a question like on YouTube, like I said, I just see those fast and I can answer. Oh, that's what Donald Evans, he made the comment, agents usually know that your buyer doesn't have money, and to add a signee to the buyer name will usually make us reject you. Yeah, that's true, because as an agent as well, if you, because that's the thing, as an agent, the contract that we have, one, I'm not going to use your contract, right? I'm not going to use a wholesale, the contract that I use to wholesale. I don't use that when I'm doing real estate agent transactions, right? And so if I have a property listed, the contract that I want from the buyer is the realtor contract. And that contract does have a clause that you cannot assign it. So that's the other thing too. If you approach an agent, you're going to want to change that contract and say that the contract is assignable. And I would like alert my client, like, yeah, you know, this is probably somebody that doesn't really have any money. You know, don't waste your time. Don't even, you know, really entertain it. So that's the thing with that too, is you're going to have a harder time with that because, yeah, that's what we're going to think. Hey, this person doesn't have any money. They want to assign the contract. Okay, that was done. No, he said, yeah, I just friended you on Facebook. This is someone else saying, I think it's Foku is saying, what is a great marketing strategy for real estate? I mean, this is what I have found. I tell people that all the marketing strategies out there, they all work. It's just a matter of picking one and sticking to it. So the biggest reason I see people fail is that they try to do so much different marketing that it's not effective. But if you just pick one or two, I usually say absolutely three max, 3 different marketing strategies max. But even if you did one or two and you just stuck to it, for me, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've had a lot of success with direct mail. So I stick to direct mail. I'm not off trying to do 10 or 1,000 things. So I do direct mail. But then there's people that I know, they're always getting listings and stuff off the multiple listing service. Now, a lot of people get deals off the multiple listing service, but that's just not a strategy that I use a lot, or probably even at all, really, because I really love off-market deals. That's just my thing. I want to get there. I want to get to the homeowner before anyone else is involved, before it's on the multiple listing service. So that's why, just personally, me, I'm not a big MLS person. But there's people, I have friends, investors, that they get a ton of deals on the multiple listing service because that's what they do. They're tracking it. They're getting on there every single day looking for deals. Whereas I don't do that because I'm trying to get to homeowners before they're on the multiple listing service. So just pick a strategy and just pick a niche that you want to do. Don't try to do everything. Try to do, if you're going to do probate, then you focus on probate deals and things like that. If you're like me, you want to focus on pre-foreclosures, you focus on pre-foreclosures. Just pick one niche that you're going to focus on. Don't try to market to everybody because it's not effective when you do that, and you just end up wasting a lot of money. Oh, Donnell here was saying a big one that he does is fire damage. Yeah, and that's the thing. Fire damage property is so good. And the thing about fire damage property is a lot of people, even a lot of investors, fire damage property is too much for them. So there's actually, if you can specialize in that, that's a good area to get in, because a lot of people are scared of fire damage property. But then that's the thing, if that's your niche, then you could dominate in it, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's too much, or they don't even know what to do with fire damage property, because there's a lot that goes on if the property was insured, if it was not insured, things like that. My dad has done a lot with fire damage property. Even the house I grew up in New York actually was burnt completely down, and my dad purchased the house and and built the house back. So there's a lot you can do with fire damage property, but like I said, pick a niche. Oh, I told you guys it's live and my kids are home, so they may come around. But yeah, just pick a niche and then just do your thing. Okay, so I'm just looking here through the chat because the questions just keep flowing. So some of you, you may post a question, I didn't see it because it's just the screen just keeps moving. And this is my first time my first time on here, so I'm just trying to keep up. Okay, so Thomas Hay, he says, I got land under contract, I think he's saying, but can't find a buyer. Should wholesale land? If you have land under contract, the biggest what you should do is reach out to builders. Even just Google it. Just Google for builders in your area and tell them about it. They'll go out and look at the land and let you know. Because what happens is with land, it's called like a perk test. They have to like test the land to see what can even be built on that land and things like that. So if you have a land, you really want to reach out to builders because they're going to know the requirements and things that need to be done to actually know if, what price they can buy the land and what they can do with it. So reach out to builders and tell them that, hey, you have this, land, give them the address, and they'll go there and they'll let you know like what can be done. Like, cause they'll know, like you'll need to know things like, can it be subdivided? What can be built there? How many acres with the houses need to be apart from each other? There's a whole bunch of stuff with land, and a builder's already going to know. So it's just much easier, like I said, to just sell land to them than to, even, if you try to sell it to like a rehabber or somebody like that, they're going to be trying to learn the process along with you. That's going to be way too difficult. So yeah, with land, yeah, I would definitely just call a bunch of builders and let them know that you have this land. And if they tell, and they'll, like I said, the builder will be able to tell you if there's anything that can be even built there, because it may be you have it under contract, it may be nothing can be built there, or like, it's not profitable for them to build a house there and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just going through the rest of these questions. See, I think Donald was saying unpaid real. Oh, okay. Let me see. It's the screen. As soon as I start reading one question, it's like the screen moves and I'm trying to get to the next question. I'm like, huh? And so that's the only thing with going live that I see is pretty cool. But yeah, if you guys like this, I'll come on, like I said, maybe do this like once a week or once a month, do like a live stream. What I'll do, I did see when I was coming on that you can like announce the time so that people would know that you're going to be live. So I'll do that next time, say like, hey, I'm going to be live, Sunday at 4:30, blah, 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 so that you would know and you could come and be live with me and stuff. So I just wanted, like I said, wanted to check this out the first time to see like how it works. I just thought, hey, this is pretty cool. You can get on and, get to like communicate with people that are, on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, pretty cool. This is Thomas just posted a question. What should I put in my contract so that if I can't find a buyer, I'm not liable? You need to have some type of contingency in your contract, something that's like there is, if you look on my channel, there is a video. I don't know, how do I find like a link? I'll have to go find the link, but there's a video on my channel where I actually go step by step by step through a wholesaling contract, and it explains like the contingencies that you can have in there. And so go and look at that video. It's like a contracting class video. It's like the only video on my channel. It's like an hour long because I literally go through every single section of the contract. It's like the only video on my channel that is that long, and that's because I get a lot of questions about the contract, and I tell people like you have to understand that contract, because if you don't, you can get yourself into just a whole mess. Because yeah, you definitely want to have some type of contingency in there that you can cancel in case you can't find a cash buyer. Because I'll tell you, the very first house when I started that I got under contract, I could not find a cash buyer, and I had to go back and cancel that contract. And that is not fun, and you definitely want to limit doing that. But sometimes it does happen, but you definitely got to make sure you got a clause in there that you can get out. Usually, it's like your inspection clause or something. You can say, you know, make sure you cancel within your inspection period. And so that's what I did. I was able to cancel within the inspection period. Because if not, if your contingencies on your contract expire and then you're trying to cancel after that, you know, you're going to lose your deposit. I just had one where they canceled after the inspection period. And so we kept their deposit, and the deposit was $1,500. So you want to be very careful with that, because you want to cancel within the contingencies that you have in your contract. Okay. Oh, that's Donald. He's like, oh, I just hit the notification button. So yeah, definitely, you know, subscribe to my channel. I guess I just assume that people who would see me live would be my subscriber. But like I said, I guess maybe YouTube opens it up to whoever. But yeah, definitely subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so you know when I come back live or I upload a video or something like that. This is Shami saying this was great. Definitely do it again. Yeah, I'll do it again. Maybe on Sundays or something, because like Sundays I'm usually home and then school is out, so it's like a lazy Sunday. Sometimes Sundays I'm busy because anybody out there that has kids know that's the day. And I have 2 girls. That's the day I'm doing their hair and all that stuff for the week, and their clothes, doing laundry. But since like school is out, I just, like I said, finish washing their hair, and they're gonna go get their hair braided. They're gonna leave in like a couple minutes, go get their hair braided. And so I just thought, hey, I could you know, get on. School is out. It's like, you know, we're just getting, you know, we're just hanging out here, really. Let me see. Oh, Donnell just mentioned something that's pretty good. I think he's talking about the for the canceling. He said he has something in there. The easiest one is that it's subject to your partner's approval. Yeah, some people have that in their contract, that there's like a clause in their contract that their partner also needs to like sign off on the contract. And so what will happen, one of the ways they'll get out, if something happens and it's not a good deal, they need to cancel, they'll say, oh, my partner, you know, is not in agreement with this contract or something like that. But like I said, there's several different contingencies that you can put in your contract. Please go, probably just go through that video, because like I said, you really have to understand that, because you don't want to get into something, especially just starting out, because sometimes, especially just starting out, people do not, I'm sorry, I think a piece of hair just fell on my eye. I think just starting out, sometimes people need to cancel because they've estimated their numbers wrong. And they need to go back and cancel. So that's why I'm saying, make sure that you understand and have contingencies in your contract that you can get out and not lose your, you know, deposit. I'm with to somebody's accent. I'm with Keller on the real estate agent side. I'm with Keller Williams. Yeah, I definitely like being with Keller Williams. The biggest reasons that I picked Keller Williams is that they're very, very investor friendly brokerage, where some brokerages are not really, you know, like into agents like rehabbing and wholesaling and stuff. But Keller Williams is like, you know, really very investor friendly brokerage. So, you know, I've been there. Actually, it's the only brokerage I've ever been with. So that's the experience that I have. Oh, Thomas is asking, should I pay taxes on my first deal? Absolutely, yes. Okay, and it's a lot, especially, you know, when you get like a big lump sum check, a lot of times, you know, definitely put some money to the side, because, yeah, come tax time, yeah, that the tax man is coming to collect. So please put some money to the side to pay those taxes. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this is Shami. She's asking, what's a good way to let the seller know the contract will be assigned? Okay. Well, here's the thing with assignment contracts. When I started, that's what people would say is, oh, I'm trying to explain everything to the seller and things like that. Because what she also added is, I believe honesty is important and I don't want the seller to be unaware of what's going on. Is you really have to explain this in the simplest way, because if you just tell someone the contract is assigned or assignable, nobody knows what that means. Like, like besides like somebody that's wholesaling or something, if you're just, telling like a regular person that, they're like, what in the world, they have no idea like what you're talking about. Because people are usually saying, okay, me and you, the average person, if me and you have a contract, me and you have a contract. They're not thinking about anybody else, okay? And so the biggest thing is that when you're explaining that, it's very important that you explain it in really, really easy terms, because if it gets any type of complicated or they don't understand what you're saying, you're going to lose that deal. Because like I said, people are thinking it's me and you in this, and you start talking about someone else, and you got to find a cash buyer, especially if you use the term cash buyer. They don't know what that is. They're going to be confused. So you have to explain this really, really easy terms, and do not use like, our real estate investing terminology. You have to talk to them just like a regular person, that they're not going to understand a sign. They're not going to understand cash buyer. So you want to, explain things like, hey, you can say something simple as, your partner may be the contract may be closed in your partner's name or something like that. Because really, to the client, to the homeowner, the only thing that is changing is the name on the contract when you guys go to settlement. Like the amount of money they're going to get and things like that are really important to them. Those things are not going to change. The only thing that really changes is the name that the property is going to close under. So to keep it as simple as possible, you can say, you work with different investors, and your contract, the reason why it says that it's assignable is that, different investors, may close on this house. Even though that sounds kind of crazy too, the way I just said it. But usually what I'll say, if I'm just keeping, most people, like I said, don't even ask, because they don't even understand what assign and assignable and all that stuff. And if they don't bring it up, that's why I'm like, don't bring it up and confuse them, because then they're like, what? So all I'll say is, I have different LLCs, and I just want the option to close on this property in one of my LLCs. And that's all, I usually say. I don't get into, I need to find a cash buyer, because like I said, to a homeowner, that is just so confusing. They're going to think like, what in the world are you talking about? So that's all I say, because that's the only thing that changes when you assign a contract is the name of who closes on it. So most people don't really care. They just, want to make sure the contract is the same. They're walking away with the same amount of money. They don't really care, who's the name, because I could even buy the property myself, but I just want to close in a different LLC name. That happens. Like sometimes you may have, if you're buying a property in a different state, we're talking about virtual wholesaling or something like that, you could get it under contract. A lot of times we're just creating the LLC name afterwards. You know what I mean? So even though it's us, we're the same buyer, but the LLC name is different because it's in a different state. So that's what I mean is, all you want to say is that the buyer's name may change. One of your partner may close on the house instead of you, because that's the only thing that changes is the LLC name. But like I said, most homeowners don't know, or they do not understand saying that the contract is assignable. And if you bring up those things, like I said, most likely your deal is going to fall apart, because most people don't know what that is. And if you tell them you need to go out and find a cash buyer, most people don't know. They don't understand what that is. So your deal it's not going to come to fruition, really, if you start to mention those things. Yeah, like Shami said, she says, oh, so would it be okay to say that I help investors find properties to buy? Exactly. Yeah, because that's the thing. A lot of times I'll say, it's either going to be me or one of my investors that's going to close on it, things like that. But like I said, the biggest thing is don't bring up like a sign and cash buyable. Like don't bring up the terms that we use because a homeowner is not really going to know. I probably need to, I just realized that's the thing with going live. It has gotten darker, so I need to turn my lights on. All right, I'm just gonna do one more question. Oh, I'm trying to go through to find one. I see a bunch of them. I'm just trying to pick one. uh, okay, this is the last one I see popped up. Is Thomas saying, which is more productive, bandit signs, cold calling? Actually, bandit signs and cold calling, they're both effective. Like I said, the thing with bandit signs, you need to put up a lot. Okay, don't put up one bandit signs and then say, oh, you didn't get a deal. You need to put up a lot of bandit signs. A lot of times too, people even have to take them down, or people like other, I guess, the other thing for bandit signs too, be careful. In some places they're actually illegal and you'll get a fine. So just check on that. But bandit signs are effective. I would just say the biggest thing is you have to put out a lot of bandit signs and put them in a busy area, put them, like a busy intersection, like by Home Depot. I mean, you just have to put up a lot. And cold calling, I mean, I still do cold calling to this day. Cold calling is definitely effective. Same thing, you got to cold call a lot. And so that's going to be my last question because it's getting dark and I need to go. At least for me, when I'm looking, I look like really dark now. So I know it's because I would have to get up and turn my lights and all that stuff on. But like I said, this was pretty cool. This is my first live stream, so I will do it again. And yeah, you guys let me know. You can leave a comment if you think I should do it maybe once a week or once a month, and I will do that. So you guys take care. And yeah, this was like really, really fun. I enjoyed it as well, just to interact with you because, making a video can be so one way communication. So it's nice to just like talk and answer the questions live. So yeah, I do like it. So I'll see you guys next time. All righty. Bye-bye.